Hi again, YouTube. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're back here, welcome back. It's lovely to have you in my channel. Here in this kitchen, we simmer and stir and seal in all the sweetness of the jams and preserves and marmalades. And it'll be my pleasure to take you on my journey every time I do something. Tonight I'm just quickly in the kitchen to do some prep work for tomorrow. We're going to do lemon and lime. So I need to get the fruit in the pot with the water on to soak in overnight. I'll be with you just now and then show you how I get everything ready in the pots. I need to get the fruit I will need for tomorrow's marmalade. Now I did mention in my intro video that I do freeze a lot of stock. Here you've got chilies, Rex Union oranges, blackberries. For tomorrow's first cook, I need lemon and lime. So that's what we're starting with today. To make our marmalades, if it's fresh fruit, I will prepare them and put them in the pots with water, soak them overnight, and tomorrow the cooking process will start. These has been previously frozen, so I will just put them in the pots. And I always try and get them out of the bags without tearing the bags, because then I can recycle. And this one's not going to work with me. So that's the lemon going in. The lime. And this is the lemon going in. And this one I can sort of see will have unfortunately been torn open as well. So I put the lemon and the lime in. This will be for an order where I do small little 28 milliliter jars. I'll show you the bottling process tomorrow, which will be in the same video, obviously. So I've got my lime and my lemon in. And this is where it's nice working with stainless steel pots, because you can let it stand overnight. Now the water that I need to put in this instance is 6 liters. Oops, is 6 liters, and yes, I don't buy bottled water. I have got a water filter system, because there's no way you can use the local municipal water in products like this. It's just not up to standard for human consumption. So I do use a water filter. I am busy working with a company that actually does fresh spring water, and I'm hoping they'll come to the table at giving it to me at affordable prices, that I can actually use spring water. So I need 6 liters in that. And we'll put the lid on, and then it'll stand like that until tomorrow morning, when I'll be back in the kitchen and showing you how to cook the lemon and lime marmalade. Mostly you would put lemon juice. I put lemon juice in every item I make, and I'll explain to you why later. And that's it. So tomorrow morning I'll be back and show you the rest. What we are doing here is washing and rinsing the little jars. This is for the lemon and lime marmalade, one of my contracts that I make these little jars for. You want to have the jars clean. From here they'll go onto trays and then into the oven for sterilization. Once they're sterilized, we bottle the product in the hot jar and put a hot, sterilized, clean lid on it. Good morning. We put these in the pot last night with water to soak. It's a lemon and lime we're going to be making for my contract. We had it soak overnight. What that does is it actually helps with the extraction of the pectin out of the pith part. And then the next thing we do is we turn this on and we'll boil it until it's tender but not mushy, basically like you would pasta. This has been boiling now for about 25 minutes. What I do is I take a little piece, put it on the side of the pot and see if the spoon goes through it easily. It's nice and tender without being mushy. So now I'll be turning off the heat. Give it a little bit of chance to just cool down a little bit. Then I'll add the sugar. You do not want to add sugar while it is still boiling, because then you will get possible crystallization in your end product. One of the biggest secrets in doing any jam or preserve, you don't want it to boil before all the sugar is dissolved. That way you prevent crystallization. I have weighed out all the sugar I need, which will be that lot. And then I need to add 2 bags of the sugar. It seems like a lot, but it is a big batch. It's going to give me just under or just over 400 jars of jam. Okay, it's small jars, but still. Now I want to dissolve all the sugar before I get it back to boil. Every batch of product gets some lemon juice in. Also helps with prevents with the crystallization, but it also helps with the activation of the pectin. So I will just be stirring this until all the sugar is dissolved. Then I'll be cleaning the sides of the pot to make sure there's no sugar crystals on the side. And then I'll get it back to a boil again. Most of my, well, basically all the sugar is dissolved. So what I do now is I've got a paintbrush with water and I just clean the sides of the pot to make sure all the sugar crystals are actually in the pot and not on the side of the pot, because those sugar crystals can cause crystallization. All good. Now I will be turning it back on. It will boil for about I'm guessing 45 minutes. I'll boil it until it's ready, but I'll show you guys when it's ready. There's a few ways you can look. You will take a little bit in the spoon and drip it down, and if it doesn't run with drops but it like flakes down in a sheet, you know it's ready. I do work with thermometers. I put the thermometer in, turn it on, and when it reaches 107 degrees Celsius, I know my product is ready to bottle. But then I also double check with a plate test, which I will also show you. There you go. While we're waiting for the lemon and lime to cook, I want to show you something else. I mentioned in my introduction video that I do encourage recycling. I get customers to bring their jars back. I actually give them a discount on the next purchase, and then I reuse the jars. You never reuse the lids because they do have a little rubber seal on the inside, and that causes, once you've sealed it, it makes an indentation in that rubber seal, and you never know if it's going to seal again or not. So I don't use these lids again, but I do reuse the jars. And then another part of my recycling is all my sugar bags. I take the sugar bag and I fold it up very nicely. Once I've got it folded, like this, just nicely fold it, cut it off there, fold it over, and then I put a ribbon in, which gives me a nice little gift bag. And these I use for bags for customers that purchase product from me at the market. Just another recycling tip. And now we're waiting for the lemon and lime. We are back. This has been boiling for about 35 minutes now. It's starting to look very nice. I'll make a little bit of a spoon test. Now, if you are new to cooking jams or marmalades, this is a test that with experience you can see, yes, it's going to set up, or no, it's not going to set up. If I give it like that, you can see it comes off like not little drops, it sort of sheets off the spoon, which tells me, without looking at the temperature, it will tell me this is close to being ready. If I look at my temperature, it's on 104 degrees. Now I usually take them to 107 because that's the ultimate spot where your stuff is very nicely set up. But if you get that slight sheeting at 104 degrees, you know this product will set up. Pulled a little bit off in the spoon. It doesn't run in a single line. It does start to sheet, which tells me it will set up. Now the alternative test is to do a cold plate test. My mom used to put a little saucer in the fridge to make it cold. What I do is I've got a very nice stainless steel tray here that I use. I'll cool it off in the spoon a bit and put it on your plate, and then you need to let it cool down a little bit. I usually set it aside for about 5 minutes. And yeah, I'm not going to rush it now. I'll come back in 5 minutes and show you what it looks like when it starts setting up. Given a chance to cool off a bit. Number one, with a light it's difficult. If you tilt it a little bit, it doesn't really run very far. And then if you do that, put your finger in. I hope you can see this. It makes like little wrinkles on the surface of this test blob. And then if you lift it, it comes off like a gel. So I know this will set up properly when it's at 107 degrees. So we'll just boil it a little bit more to get it to 107, and then we will be bottling. Okay, here I've got a pot with hot water, with water in, which I'm turning on to get it to boil. That's what we will use to sterilize the lids in. And then my bottles, these are the little bottles we're using today. They're in the oven on their trays. I'm going to turn on the oven to 105 degrees. You want to have your bottles at 105 degrees for at least 10 minutes to sterilize them. And also we washed them this morning, so they might still be damp inside because you don't dry them out. You want to dry out your bottles and sterilize them. So the oven is going on now. I forgot to mention that with a gas oven, I set it, over time I realized I can set it at 130 degrees Celsius, and it's not at 100 degrees yet, the physical temperature inside. So what I've got, it's getting hot now, is, and it won't come off, is a little in-oven temp thermometer that tells me what the temperature is in the oven, that I know I've got my bottles at the right temperature. Our lemon and lime has come to the right temperature, 107 degrees. Just want to show you, this is the test we did about 10 minutes ago. This is the one I did just poured out, and you can see how nicely it wrinkles up on the plate. So that's just, at this point you can jar it. It's just sometimes it's a bit iffy and it doesn't always set up nicely. But when you get to this stage, it just sets up beautifully in the jar. Now we're just waiting for the oven to get to temperature and we'll be bottling. There I've got the perfect measure for these little jars, so I can just scoop it and pour it. I don't have to aim at how many or how much product I need to put in. With marmalade, most jams you can just pour. With marmalade you've always got to keep an eye on the amount of fruit you put in, because over the time the fruit tends to float to the top. So you need to make sure you scoop fruit and juice and not just a lot of fruit. Because in your bottom jars, when you get to the bottom of the jar, it won't have as much fruit in it. So you've always got to keep a nice balance on what you're doing there. Today's work we've got here. In the end we have got 300 97 of these little jars. Lemon and Lime Marmalade. I think they're so cute and pretty. The marmalade just looks amazing. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen again today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if this video helped you in any way. And if you've got any questions or things you would like me to touch on more for you, leave me a comment in the comments down below. Share a little bit of the sweetness, tell your friends about it, and I'll see you next time for more fruity goodness.